Yo guys, what is up? 33 and a third RPM here, back today to talk about another album review. I know I say this in every video that I'm sorry this one's late or something, but I guess it's just kind of be how my channel is. I just post when I have time. I guess I'm the new Mr. Moody 1235 or something. But anyway, this review today, let's just get right into it because this is a very special review for me today. If you couldn't tell by my hat, we're talking about Green Day's American Idiot today, one of my favorite albums of all time. Just a great rock album, great concept album. If you're into that stuff, this is just all around great album. So, Green Day's American Idiot, 2004, this comes out. Green Day is a band that's not really known at this time for making, lots of smash hit records. Dookie has already cemented itself as a very popular record in the 90s, but Green Day hasn't really followed it up successfully with another hit record like that was. They've had hit songs, but not full albums that really become popular. This baby comes out. This is where Green Day's music becomes politically charged. They start taking a stance on the Bush administration, that is the younger Bush, 9/11, what happened after that. Billy Joe talks a little bit about his dad on here. This is really an album full of emotion and just anger at the system, anger at the government, and just shows Green Day really in their prime. This album has so many classic songs in here that even if you don't know that it's by Green Day, you've probably heard it. Songs like the title track, American Idiot, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Holiday, Wake Me Up When September Ends, and maybe even songs like Jesus of Suburbia, all classic rock songs. This is really a special album. So, briefly talk about this. I don't want to talk about it for too long, because last time I tried to make this review, it was 45 minutes long, and YouTube wouldn't let me upload that. So I'm going to go over the brief concept of this, show you what's inside, and wrap it all up. Okay, so if you're not familiar with a concept record or what the concept of a concept record is, it's pretty much an album that tells a cohesive story throughout all of its songs. So they have a connecting narrative, right? So a prime example of this is The Who's Tommy. Go back and listen to that. It's about the blind deaf boy Tommy, kind of his adventures through life. While Green Day's American Idiot is more of a coming-of-age story. It's about the Jesus of Suburbia, who'd also named himself Saint Jimmy halfway through this. He has a little name transition, and it's about him, finding his place in the world. He meets this girl he falls in love with, titled What's Her Name, and it's just his rise and fall as the leader of this gang to, eventually killing himself in the end. This is just it's a cool story. It's a little bit generic, but I really like that Green Day went for this story to elevate the album to the next level, in my opinion. We open with American Idiot here, which really sets the tone for this album. It's this rocking song with this awesome, 4-chord guitar riff that's mind-bogglingly basic, but also awesome at the same time. Green Day comes in here screaming lines like, the subliminal lines, "Fuck America," it's really bold political statements. Don't want to be an American idiot. One nation controlled by the media. This is just an awesome song. Definitely a great start. Jesus of Suburbia is track 2 on here. Now, American Idiot is also a little bit infamous for its long songs. There are 2 songs on here, Jesus of Suburbia and Homecoming, which are both 9 minutes long. These songs are so long that you'll see on the back when I show you, they're actually split up into 5 parts. Each one of them has a different motif. Similar to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, how there really is no chorus. The song just kind of moves along from part to part. Jesus of Suburbia establishes our main character here, Jesus of Suburbia, with some pretty cool lines. Talking about him kind of wandering through this wasteland that he thinks this world is in, and how he's hooked on drugs and alcohol and all this stuff. He's trying to find his place in his world. The third song here is Holiday. Dude, Holiday is definitely the most politically charged song here. There's a breakdown after the second go of the chorus here, which is just, when I saw him in concert, it was mind-bogglingly cool. I said it 3 times. They shut out all the lights, and Billy Joe just took a giant spotlight and shined it on the crowd. It talks about burning political monuments, destroying the government, ransacking this entire place, and they're saying, but we don't care. It's our holiday, kind of. You've definitely heard this one before if you've ever listened to a rock radio. Great song. Boulevard of Broken Dreams is track 4 here, with a plodding guitar riff that just drives the song into an epic, face-melting guitar solo at the end here that just squeals with power as Billy Joe pumps it out, and what you can only tell is just pure anger and just awesomeness. If you haven't heard this song, I don't know what you're doing. Go check it out. Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Green Day's American Idiot. Great song. We have Are We the Waiting, which feeds directly into track 7, Saint Jimmy. Are We the Waiting is the first ballad on here. It's very slow with kind of a cool drum progression from Trey Cool, their drummer, as it goes on here. And that slowly builds into repeating of the chorus, Are we we the waiting unknown, which just did, boom, this big hit as Saint Jimmy takes over. Saint Jimmy is this alter ego that the character Jesus of Suburbia creates for himself, who's this like gang revolutionary leader who's like super popular with the people. He starts this uprising. Saint Jimmy is just a, dude, it's a crazy track. It pummels you with these like speedingly fast guitar riffs, some pretty nice bass work from Mike Derns as he keeps up with Billy Joe here, as he just Jesus of Suburbia describes his new personality. He describes himself as the son of a bitch in Edgar Allan Poe. Dude, this is just a cool track. It's definitely a fun one to listen to. It really takes you for a fast ride. Give Me Novocaine is track 7 here. I love this one for its use of actually a ukulele and then the drum beat that builds off of it, and how the guitars come in at the chorus for what are taken over what's normally more of a mellow verse, especially on an album that's almost 90% guitars. It's definitely a really good song. She's a Rebel is track 8 on here. This is the shortest song on the album. I believe it's only 1 minute and 30 seconds, but in the term of the story, it's supposed to be about how Saint Jimmy meets this girl, what's her name, after he gets passed out and Give Me Novocaine, and she is this just a whirlwind force of destruction, and they combine together and create this awesome display of just revolution and uprising against the force. It's a cool song. Not one I go back frequently to listen to, probably because it's just so short. Track 9, Extraordinary Girl, is my least favorite song on here. It's got this kind of tribal flair with Billy Joe doing this like flamenco, like there's something in the beginning. And lyrically, it's a great song to progress the story forward, but sonically, it doesn't really do too much for me. Not saying that's a bad song, because all songs in here are great, but if I had to pick one to leave out, it'd be Extraordinary Girl. Then we got my favorite song in this entire thing, Letter Bomb, track 10. Oh, I can't explain how much I love this song. It opens with this kind of guitar squeal and this just high-pitched voice saying, nobody likes you, everyone left you, they're all out without you, having fun. And before you can even stop to be like, well, I wonder what that means, this guitar riff just comes in out of nowhere and just crushes your skull as Billy Joe sings about literally burning down, once again, the government, and what happens when all of these revolutionaries are gone. Are the ideas that they fought for still going to be upheld? Dude, this is great song. Love this song. Just go listen to it, please. Wake Me Up When September Ends is track 11 on here. You've probably heard this one too. It is a ballad, especially with all the memes, because it's September. Every year it happens. Somebody says, hey guys, wake Billy Joe up when it gets into October. Little did you probably know, this song's actually about his relationship with his dad, about how his dad died, go back and forth. It's definitely a somber track, but it has real power behind it, and it's very catchy, but also very moving at the same time. It's a really good track. Number 12, Homecoming. This is the second 9-minute long song on here, and this one is awesome. This is, in terms of the story, Saint Jimmy, his girlfriend, friend, what's her name, has left him, and he doesn't know what else to do with his life. His followers are kind of abandoning him. He's done all he can in this revolution, so he goes and he kills himself. It's only mentioned that Saint Jimmy dies today, so we don't know whether the persona of Saint Jimmy just died, or Saint Jimmy and the Jesus of Suburbia both died. It says, he blew his brains out into the bay, so there you go. Maybe that's a key, I don't know. This is all interpretation from my part of it. An awesome song with this really anthemic chorus in the second half of it, with a pretty funny little Trey Cool part that he screams at the end, so go back and listen to that if you haven't heard that. And the last song, 13 on here, What's Her Name? If Letter Bomb wasn't on here, this would have been my favorite song. The lyrics at the end of this give me chills every time, as this plodding guitar riff, similar to Boulevard of Broken Dreams, pushes through the beginning, but then escalates into this just this torrent of chords, and then it breaks down slowly into a little bit more of that acoustic feel, and then pummels back in with the chords. One of my favorite lines in this entire album, I'll never turn back time, forgetting you, but not the time. The last words on here, as Saint Jimmy, the Jesus of Suburbia, reflects upon this girl that he met on his crazy growing up adventure. it's a pretty good album. All right, to show you what's inside. So I actually can point to the wall today. This is the American Idiot insert. I know you can't really see it too well, but moving the camera would require a lot of work from my part. And by camera, I mean phone. So you're just going to have to deal with what you get. It's all divided into the lyrics. Got some pictures on here, some little background information about where the events and the songs actually take place in terms of the world. Got the front here, classic cover. You've probably seen that. The back, you got the grenade pin and all of the songs. You can pause and look at that. See how they're split up, some of the longer ones. On the inside, we got what is only the Jesus of Suburbia because he's got Rage and Love tattooed on his hands. He's grabbing a fence there. And then the records are both the same. I just got the standard black edition. I know they made like a red and white one, but I didn't. That's after I bought this one. And here we go. Here is side 2. They're all the same. Just got Rage and Love and that fist. But yeah, guys, this is easily, without a doubt, 10 out of 10. For me, this is a fantastic album. I love it. If you haven't heard this, what's wrong with you? Go and check it out. You probably have, even if you don't think you have. This is definitely worth your time. So yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Dude, if you like American Idiot, drop a comment, because please talk about this. I love this album to death. This would be pretty cool to talk about in the comments below. Otherwise, until my next review, guys, I'll see you on the flip side. Keep on spinning.